I'm Agent Morris with the NSA.
We have identified some very, very interesting anomalous type of aircraft.
Traffic is quite luminous and is exhibiting some non-ballistic motion, over.
Move very rapidly at any speed or rather any direction it wanted to go. Flag could change and go to the right or the left or go crossways without hesitating a bit.
What do you think it was?
Well, if they call it a flying saucer, that's what it is.
EWA 517, do you want to report a UFO? Over. Negative. We don't want to report.
Look, it wasn't my worst Wednesday night.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Smiles Lewis, and this is Anomaly Now, straight out of Austin, Texas, on this Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. I'm your host, founder, president, director of the nonprofit 501c3 community organization, the Anomaly Archives, aka Scientific Anomaly Institute. Wait, switch that around. That was founded in 2003 and is happy to still be around, struggling though we may be. This is the weekly news roundup show for the Anomaly Archives nonprofit. You can go to our website, anomalyarchives.org, and there you can click through and find the anomalyarchives.org/video/anomaly-now directory, which will show you all the different links to how to subscribe, view, watch, listen to the podcast of this here show that you're listening to that airs live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm going to jump right in. So, last week we were following up on this grisly news about alleged mysterious cattle deaths here in Central Texas, or rather parts elsewhere from Central Texas here in Texas. And I wasn't really aware of any new coverage of this, but in fact, there has been a little, and I was unaware of it at the time. Oh, dang it for me for not being aware of this, but lo and behold, who's going to tell me about it but Moulton Howe, who we of course talked about on the show as one of the longest running cattle mutilation, animal mutilation researchers in the UFO paranormal field. She recently did a live show in which she reported on this uptick in Texas cases, and had some interesting additional information, not least of which was the fact that as we had heard speculated that there were 7 and even maybe 8 total animals. Originally they were saying 6. This article over at theeagle.com, 8th cow found Monday in series of mysterious livestock deaths near OCR, Old San Antonio Road. This is actually from late April 27th. And there's some interesting bits in here, including the identification by other researchers, other law enforcement in the area of other cows that they believe were not indicative of mystery deaths. And they mentioned that this latest cow found Monday was in the same area as previous cattle and was taken to Texas A&M University for necropsy. Foster said results haven't been returned yet, and Foster said she isn't sure how long it will take since a full pathology and toxicology examination was done on the cow. But there's some other interesting things that crop up in this, and that is that multiple agencies across the United States are assisting in the investigation. She noted she's never investigated something like this herself. Now, it's actually in this recent report live stream from Moulton Howe, where she interviews that's really grisly. Interviews Mindy Tautest, director of Oklahoma MUFON, who is investigating the cow pictured in the images we're seeing. But in the audio interview between her and Howe, Howe says that, and this is, hearsay of hearsay, but here's where it goes. Mindy tells Howe that she spoke to Ken Jordan, the Texas MUFON director, and that they had been made aware that the FBI have taken over the case allegedly and are urging ranchers and law enforcement to not talk about these cases publicly. Now, nothing to really back this up, but then at the end of this little short clip, I'm not going to play it. We'll link over to the video, but Linda Howe reports that she has an anonymous source in the Madison County area where these cows are being found that confirms, allegedly, that the FBI is involved and may in fact be silencing at least some or urging people not to talk about it. This is all kind of interesting to me. Not sure what to make of that, but again, given that this may be mundane, maybe it's misidentification and it's all much to do about nothing, as they say, but not really sure. And I really, part of me is ready to move on from this subject, but it is interesting as a mystery. There certainly has that train wreck appeal of like, got to turn and look at the horror show that's happening all around us sometimes. But we're trying to collect some of the links over at the Anomaly Archives. We've got a page called Mystery Cattle Deaths, Texas 2023. Got the initial report and some links to the other items. But again, this allegation that the FBI is investigating the Texas mutilations. And this reminds me, I mentioned last time, or maybe it was 2 shows ago, that my good friend Chester Moore, who does Dark Outdoors podcast and who is a noted and award-winning outdoors journalist, and also active in cryptozoology as a Bigfoot researcher in East Texas. Besides the podcast that he did about this case, where they lean towards humans and cult activity, their episode last year on the Texas horse ripper murders, the horse killings, is dark and fascinating. And it does, I mean, in those cases, it's basically known that these, in some cases, literal video footage of perpetrators who have remained at large, and seeming targeting of a certain demographic of horse owner and up close and personal murder of these animals. But yeah, dark stuff. Meanwhile, we've got links, of course, to the upcoming Archives of the Impossible 2, the Eclectic Boogaloo conference in Houston, coming up this week. That's a free event, whether in person or online. And their title for this year is Transnationalism, Transdisciplinarity, Transcendence. You can find over at the impossiblearchives.rice.edu, yada, yada, yada website. Links to how to register for the Zoom sessions. These 3 are here at the top with Gustavo Rodriguez Roca and Yvonne Chiraud and good friend Joshua Cutchin. These have all occurred and now have all been posted on the Rice Humanities YouTube channel, so you can catch up with those. And then there's a great lineup of presenters: Greg Agigian, a UFO historian who's done UFO research, Stephen Finlay, another good academic, Anna Louise Keating, and so many others. Really great stuff to look forward to there. And again, it's all free, live and in person, or via Zoom webinar. I will unfortunately not be there in person this year, but am very much looking forward to watching the show remotely. A little diversion here. I do have a personal website, smileslewis.com. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, hold on. But you can go to smileslewis.com, and I don't blog lengthy or much, mostly just little anecdotes from my life and interests. But not too long ago, had posted this about when I'd seen a photo that was circulating showing the famous Daniel Johnston mural had apparently been saved. That was the good news, but literally you can see it there. It's the only thing saved from the building that had a long time ago been known as Sound Exchange. This was a very famous record store that I frequented in my teenage years, high school and just out of high school. It was really where I first started, diving into different alternative music than I'd already heard, and really enjoyed that. But sad that is another thing I'm going to be posting over at my website soon. Just a weird little series of synchronicities, connections to individual. I just found out today, after having a very strange morning that I will not go into, related to the day job. I found out that Frank Kozik, a very famous artist, poster artist, punk artist, has passed away, and he was very well known here in Austin. He was living here in Austin for a time, and I'll relate some of that in my blurb about him. But yeah, it reminds me that yes. Little hint about what can I be about to share on Bad Mother Goose. They played at my prom, and who's the artist for this infamous album? That's Frank Kozik, for friends. Frank also did stuff like this for Austin band Moist Fist. Oops, there we go. Isn't that sweet? Not. And yes, the backside. Very typical of his art, and stuff, records that I bought at that Sound Exchange. Some of my earliest Austin punk stuff. Ooh, Scratch Acid. Excellent albums. Great albums. Records. I have a very small record collection. Okay. Anywho, farewell. Godspeed, Frank Kozik. We barely knew ye. So what else we got here this Wednesday? Yeah, there was something else I was going to mention. So the folks have probably heard me mention on this show before and in lectures, Ray Stanford, a very famous fellow who was a UFO researcher, a trance channeler here in Austin, Texas, back in the day, before my time. But I was lucky enough to meet him and spend a whole day with him at his house outside of Austin. This was over 20 years ago, and it was fascinating. And he is legendary for claiming to have had more taken more photographs of UFOs and having had a number of UFO encounters throughout his life, and he's a wild character. Well, Jeffrey Mishlove, the psychologist that does the very famous New Thinking Aloud. Thinking Aloud. The new show is New Thinking Aloud. You can find his YouTube channel, but we'll post links to this playlist and these 5 and maybe more coming, not sure. But basically about 3 months ago, Jeff started posting video interviews that he had done last year with Ray. Ray Stanford is the twin of Ray and Rex Stanford. Rex Stanford was a notable parapsychologist, and both these men did pretty amazing things in their own right. There's a lot of criticism out there and a lot of skepticism out there related to Ray, and of course of parapsychology in general, and of course UFOs in general. But there's some great videos here. They're each 3 of them are over an hour long, and the first and last one are each about 40 or 50 minutes. So great stuff to dive into. Ray is now, I believe, 84 years old or thereabouts, and he's showing his age, and he does refer to some memory troubles a few times. during these series of interviews, but it more or less correlates with what I've already heard from him personally years ago, like I say, over 20 years ago, and over the years from other people, because he is a very big networker and has met a lot of interesting people over the years. I have not made it through this entire series of 5 videos, but I'm going from the beginning to the end, and I'm really enjoying it, even as I feel a little sad that that it's taken him so long to open up. That's one of the criticisms that folks have had, is like, you claim to have all this evidence. Why won't you show it publicly or be more open and public about it? A lot of people have claimed, Christopher O'Brien, in fact, is one acolyte, supporter, dear friend of Ray's, who has seen a lot of this evidence. But so more than any other venue I've ever seen, these videos do show Jeff has worked in photographs and materials relevant to the stories being told, the different encounters and so forth. At my recent UFO talk at Texas UFO conference in Jefferson, Texas last year, there was a whole section there where I was talking about the significance of Ray Stanford. Again, whether or not you consider him a boaster, a charlatan, a hoaxer, he's a fascinating character. He's been very he's put forth a lot of information, and it's been contentiously received. But he, in these videos with Jeffrey Mishlove, he talks again about one of his earliest sightings. He grew up in Corpus Christi, back down on South Padre in May of 1956. Or in the 50s, he had this multi-witness UFO sighting on the coast there, and got affidavits from law enforcement that came to inquire, what are you kids doing here on the beach late one night? And then he's relates also other cases where he has had instrumented encounters, or at least photographic evidence that he's obtained. Of course, one of the things he's most known for is his PSI, Project Starlight International, here in Austin, Texas, out near the lake. There was a piece of property that was either donated or he was allowed to use for his instrumented research. You can see in this photograph, there's telescope, lasers, rangefinders, radar, all kinds of things they had access to through some nice, generous funders. And we've talked about this before. It's a very interesting setup. There's a lot of claims, again, associated with him. He also had the AUM, Association for the Understanding of Man, which was his more channeling oriented stuff. But he touches on all of this and goes deep into all this in those videos that Jeffrey has provided to the public. And I really would encourage folks, if you have any interest at all, to go dive into those. Of course, one of the unknowns in the Project Blue Book cases is his sighting of a blue-white cigar-shaped UFO above the Mansfield Dam outside Austin back on June 24th. Oh, legendary birth of the modern era, not in 1947, but 1967. So the 20-year anniversary. That's a very neat little case, and puts Austin on the UFO unknown map, so to speak. And one of the bits of controversy has to do with, of course, this gentleman down here in the bottom right. I'm blanking on his name, even though it's probably right in front of me. Knuth, I believe, is his name. He's a professor, and he presented at a conference, and he presented some of these images that you're seeing, including this big blue one that is how you say, a tweaked version of the film sighting that Ray had in Emerald Cove Pier, Corpus Christi, Texas, October 5th, 1985. And there's some very interesting stuff. I'm not sure if I can get to this easily, but let me see if I can find that for you. Yes, here. So there we go. This is the kind of analysis that Ray has been very fond of doing. And for folks listening to this and not having access to the video, you can go and you can see these images in the video. That's, I think, the third in the series of 5, analyzing UFO photographs with Ray Stanford. And this is that case of the Emerald Cove, Corpus Christi sighting, which is unique in that it was a series of discs of flying saucer shapes, only they weren't moving horizontally through the sky. They were moving vertically through the sky, with their flat end pointing in the direction of travel. And in this series of 4 frames that have been tweaked, as I say, you get a sense. You start to see this beam coming out from the underside of this quote unquote craft, and this peeling off of forces or force fields. And Ray has an amazing story that seems to be backed up. And in the other slide I was showing, in this slide down here on the left, is Christian Lambright giving a lecture about his book X Descending, which is partly about the fact that it seems that a famous American physicist, scientist, had met with Ray Stanford for an extended period of time, and was very excited by what he saw in that film, and that this has gone on to inspire his creation of a new system of going faster through the atmosphere. That's the short version. Anyway, I find all of this very fascinating. I highly recommend folks go to that Jeffrey Mishalov YouTube channel, and you can find that playlist. I'm gonna post that playlist also for in the show notes, and as an Anomaly Archives YouTube channel playlist. Right now, I think it's just a personal playlist that I made for my personal YouTube channel. Moving right along. What else we got? Briefly. Sorry. Mark, you're not here, but Mark had been wanting to hear more about the Roswell slides. I'll just do this tease. This was, I think, an image created by probably one of our Roswell slides research group friends to mess with the Jaime Maussan, Richard Dolan, Tom Carey, and or is it Carrie Schmidt? I'm getting their names wrong. Anyway, there's so much to say about the Roswell slides debacle, but all this stuff is coming up in my memories streams of past stuff. So, well, what else we got real quick here? You can, of course, if you go to anomalyarchives.org, you can find our Flipboard link, and it'll take you to where we compile all these thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of articles that are a great way for me or you or anyone to go and try to catch up or keep abreast of all the amazing UFO, paranormal, anomalous news headlines that I've come across day by day, week by week. And right here, you can see that we've got several, including 2 that were sent by our helper technician Victor. Thank you, Victor, for these great links to UFO hunters built an open source AI system to scan the skies. Now, I was aware of this system called Sky 360, and but I had not seen this Vice article. And you can go over to that Vice link and see more about the extraterrestrial highway. No, it's UFO hunters built an open source AI system to scan the skies. The Sky 360 project is building a worldwide network of automated cameras to keep watch for strange aerial phenomena. It's a very basic concept. It's basically taking what Ray Stanford did and making it, a turnkey kind of a product. I don't have easily available the link that shows the device, but it's an interesting package. But here you can go to their YouTube channel, and this is a video. It's 10 hours and 15 minutes long of the UAPT live night France from, I guess that's May 7th, 2023. they actually have caught some interesting things, I believe, on. I don't have that pulled up, but they've caught what appear to be meteors and that sort of thing. So fun stuff there. Another great article that Victor brought to my attention is from arstechnica.com. Sleep language could enable communication during lucid dreams. Of course, I a long time been a fan of dreaming, lucid dreaming, that sort of thing, and I often tell people that that's kind of what got me into UFOs and the anomalous. I describe this to folks as this is the paranormal realm that we all have access to on a daily basis, on a nightly basis. That we experience strange, surreal, paranormal realities every single day. You may be one of those people that doesn't remember their dreams, but you have them, guaranteed. And you can become lucid in them, and you can control that dream state. And just as an Eastern philosophy teaches you to try to utilize that same insight into the manifestation that is reality, you can become more lucid in your waking life. Well, this article talks about a research attempt, I believe, in Germany, where they are trying to combine, I believe, AI learning to training lucid dreamers, training people to be able to go into lucid dream states fairly quickly, as well as using their facial muscles to manifest a language that's been created by this inventor. And the inventor basically is using the AI technology to be able to better recognize the small facial muscle twitches that are this language. So now this is not new in so much as this idea of communicating from the dream state. This is something I've reported on many times. Onironaut Alan Worsley was was the first to, as far as we know, scientifically document this effect of communicating from the dream state. Over at Wikipedia, under their lucid dream article, it mentions that in 1975, Dr. Keith Hearn had the idea to exploit the nature of rapid eye movements to allow a dreamer to send a message directly from dreams to the waking world. Working with an experienced lucid dreamer, Alan Worsley, he eventually succeeded in recording, via the use of an EOG, a predefined set of eye movements signaled from within Worsley's lucid dream. This occurred at around 8 a.m. on the morning of April 12th, 1975. That this is not mentioned in this Ars Technica article, and I think that's part of the amnesia of the anomalous, and whereby people, they do reference other attempts that are more recent to try to find ways to communicate from the dream state. But it says, yes, a 2021 study by Northwestern University found that people having especially realistic dreams were able to communicate with researchers who were awake through eye and muscle movements. And they say, while there was no specialized sleep language used during this experiment, it still demonstrated they could reach out to the waking world. And that's one of the novel things here with this research, is they're trying to create an easier way to communicate. I mean, obviously, rapid eye movements. So it's like the old, move your eyes left or right for no, and up and down for yes. Well, obviously, rapid eye movement. You're going to be moving your eyes all over, and that could be hard to detect, but it has been done, and there are ways to do it, and it's just a matter of figuring out better ways to do it. So thank you, Victor, for this excellent article on a recent attempt to create a sleep language and use some good technology to help enable communication with the other side, even if it's just the unconscious sleeping side. All right. Meanwhile, I guess that's really it, actually. I should just say we've got great links over at the Flipboard, and you can go to Anomaly Archives, and you can subscribe to all the different stuff that we have available. Our semi-weekly email newsletter. You can find links to this podcast, and lots of links to past content, and of course at our YouTube channel we've got tons of other content there. So I guess that's going to do it for this roundup. That was pretty fast and furious, but thank you for joining us. And if you are listening, watching, hit that like, subscribe button, hit the bell. You'll get notified of upcoming shows, that sort of thing, and when we go live. And I guess that's it. Good night.